Just like conditional statements, you can nest loops inside of each other. This doesn't add anything new to your loops per se, just an extra layer of complexity. Here, I have an example of a nested loop. If you look at the first for loop, there's another loop nested inside of it. Similar to what I did in the for loops video, I want to take some time to walk through each step of this code so you can see exactly what is happening. Because nested loops add another layer of complexity, seeing this code step through this way should help you in visualizing what is actually happening when this code is being interpreted and ran. Again, I'm going to add the table here so that you can see the values of x and y while we go through the loop. Okay, so here we go. When our first loop starts, the value of x is set to 0. Next, we check the condition to see if x is less than 3. And because that evaluates to true, we jump into the loop. But now we've got another loop. So just like we did with the first for loop, again, we're going to set the variable of y equal to 0. We're going to check our condition. Is 0 less than 2? Yes, it is. So that's true. And then we jump into this loop. And we're going to print out the value of x and y. So that's 0, 0. So once we get to the end of that step, then we jump back up to the top of that nested for loop, and we see how it's been defined to move to the next step. So in this one, y is just getting incremented by 1. So we'll set y now equal to 1. We'll check our condition. 1 is less than 2. That's true. And we'll print. And we'll keep doing this until that condition is no longer satisfied. So here we'll increment y again by 1. And now 2 is less than 2. That doesn't evaluate to true. That's false. So now that means we're going to jump out of our loop. But we're still in that first loop that we started with. So what happens is we go and we look at how it's been defined to increment to the next step for that first loop. And this one, x is supposed to be incremented by 1. So we increment x by 1. We check our condition. Is 1 less than 3? Yes, it is. That's true. And now we jump into the loop. So again, there's nothing new that's happening here. It's just sort of an added level of complexity that you have to pay attention to. And there's not going to be any surprises here. We're going to go through the second loop twice. It'll always evaluate the true those first 2 times. And then the third time, 2 is not going to be less than 2. That'll evaluate to false. We'll jump out of that second for loop, and then we'll look at our first for loop. So this will run a couple of more times. And I'm just going to kind of step through it here so you guys can see what's going on. And if this is a little too fast, feel free to kind of slow it down or go back and watch. But we're in the nested for loop, and we're just incrementing y here. Y is now 1. That is less than 2. It evaluates to true. And we jump in. We print our statement. We're going to increment y one more time. It's going to be 2 now, and 2 is not less than 2. That's going to be false. And we're going to jump out of our loop. We're going to go to our first loop. And this time, x is going to get incremented to 3, and 3 is not less than 3. That evaluates to false, and we jump out of the entire thing. So again, nested loops don't add anything new to our loops, but just another level of complexity.